Jenna, you have helped a lot of people make money online. For somebody who's just getting started, what would you suggest that they do?
I think a lot of people are going to be searching School as a platform to see if it's somewhere where they could make money doing what they love. And in this video, I'm going to show my little cheat code to using the 14-day trial so that they can be profitable within the very first 14 days. I'm going to recommend to anybody that's a brand new newbie that they listen to the CEO of Skool, Sam Evans. In this clip, he's going to be sharing what someone should do when they first join Skool.
Honestly, I think the best way is to just join a community first as a member. Find something you're interested, join it. Um, and that's the best way to see, because you see what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like, most video game designers were players first. Most musicians were like listeners first. It's like impossible to create the other side if you haven't, learned it and kind of fallen in love with it a bit. So I would say for anyone, start on that side.
Yeah.
Because then you'll figure out, that'll show you what you could create. I think school is perfect for the people that don't have something to share too, because they can discover things that they can, learn, or people that they can meet.
So yeah, I would really recommend doing exactly what Sam said and just become a member of Skool because that's the best way to learn the platform itself. You want to go into using your 14-day trial, understanding what it's like to be a member before you start looking at it from the owners and the creators' perspective, because that's going to help you create a better community. Skool has a very simple way of getting started if you're going to become a community order, and it is you just go and you click on create a community. And when you go to create a community, it'll give you all the details that you need to know and to start your 14-day free trial. So I'm going to go over the strategy now of what I would do to make sure that you can monetize within those first 14 days.
Cool.
So the first thing that you're going to do, obviously, is sign up for your 14-day trial. But decide what niche or what topic you're going to want your community to be on. And then how could you jumpstart it? So if somebody was like a personal trainer, they could do a fitness challenge. If someone is like in online marketing or they're in the online space where they're wanting to help people either create communities, they want to help them create courses, they want to be a coach, they could do creating a digital product workshop. They could also do, if somebody's like a manifestation masterclass, that would be really helpful for somebody that's like first wanting to get started. If somebody wants to learn AI automations, or if somebody's into trading, there's so many different options. I want you to just like be creative for yourself and what fits in the kind of niche that you're wanting to do. What is something that you love that you could go and expand on?
Now, Jenna, are you talking about the topic for the community itself, or are you talking about like a kickstart? Like it says a fitness challenge there. Do you mean like something that you would do within those 14 days, or is this like for the whole community?
Now, this is going to be something that you can, I'm going to have to answer both. Like, if you're going to do a fitness challenge, then your community needs to be on fitness in some way. So the challenge could be like a weight loss one. It could be a tracking your nutrition challenge. It could be a walking, like how much steps do you get in this amount of time? It could be how much water are you drinking. But if you're passionate and you are wanting to help people with their health and their fitness, then you need to make sure that the first 7 days, and I'm going to say 7 days. You could do a 3-day one if you want, but if you give them 7 days, you're going to set them up for like better success when they're first learning the platform as well. And I would create a challenge that goes within that niche. So if you did it separate and it wasn't cohesive, then you're going to get the wrong people inside your community. Because if everybody came for weight loss, but now you're going to talk to them about like personal relationships or mindset, they're probably not going to stick around or be active.
Right. So that makes sense. So you're making some type of challenge or like mini thing that can exist within the 14-day trial for those members. And then, like, of course, it's going to be around the niche, the topic that you want to make a community for, but you're also picking something really short that you can offer people. Is that right?
Yes, you want to pick something that's short so that they have like the realistic expectation that there's not a long-term commitment and that they can have the believability that they will follow through, because a lot of people have done challenges and they haven't followed through with it.
Right. And that also ensures that the challenge happens within that 14-day free trial, right? So that you get that guarantee of the monetization. Is that connected in any way?
Yeah. So what I would recommend is right here, I put like the $9 a month, cancel anytime, but you lock in the pricing. So if you want to get your first, I say minimum of like 11 people, because obviously when we come back to school pricing, it's 99 a month right now. But if you're trying to get the school paid for, then you want at least 11 people paying 99 a month.
Mm.
Technically 12 because of like the percentage fees. So when you get that amount of people in for the 7 days, what you're going to go through is the challenge itself. You help them get to the outcome. Do your onboarding calls, make sure that they understand the platform, make sure that they know they need to check in every single day so that they start making the platform, your community, a habit for their daily life, and set up some calls so that you can encourage them along the way. Now, after they've accomplished it, so you need to know how to run a challenge where they're at point A and now they're at point B so they can see what it's at. So, by the
Hmm.
way, in your onboarding call, find out where their current state is. Like they don't know anything about digital products. They've never created an automation. So towards the end, you can be like, oh, you have a digital product. It's tangible. Oh, you have your first automation. It's tangible. So they have the
Mm.
believability that they can continue on. Because if it was just a challenge, why do they need to pay monthly? Well, then you're going to tell them that you're going to be doing more stuff around the same topic that you're planning on doing. And you could do like it's a monthly or weekly. In the beginning, I would say do something weekly so they are inviting their friends because you have 14 days. You can now lock them in at this $9 price. And what I say right here is like run it again, but raise the price. So make it $19. Say, tell your friends, we're eventually going to have this to be about like $29 a month. So if you go ahead and get your friends in, they're getting a discount. It'll be 19 for them. By the way, I'm going to give you a 40% affiliate commission. So you're going to be making money and you'll probably pay for the first month that you are already in. And they already believe that it works because they just went through it.
Yeah.
Now, you want to do the lock-in too because whenever somebody tries to cancel, it will also tell them like, "Hey, if you leave, just so you know, you'll have to come back at the new price." So there's things that are built in within the platform itself to try to keep them.
Right. So by doing this, you're really solidifying the fact that your school fees are going to be paid for, right? So the idea is that by doing this and getting those people in at $9, like sure they're locked in at that lower price, but it means that your school fees are paid for like right from the start.
Right. Because like when you're thinking about it, any of these, like pretty much anything that you love doing is going to have something that's continuing on, even if it's a hobby. So it could be like if it's fitness, well, now that you've done this like water challenge, well, why don't you do a walking challenge? You know, why don't you do another thing to see like who can do the most steps, who can lose the most weight within this amount of time? Like different things that keep them involved and make them feel like they are a part of the community. But
Mhm.
what's even better is you have this Q&A for feedback. So while you're talking to them and you're going through this whole challenge, at the very end, you do a little celebration. Like you guys all completed this challenge. You all completed this workshop. You all completed the masterclass and you're at the end stage. How did it feel going through that? So you're getting feedback from them about what they liked and what they didn't like or what they wish there was more of. Or now that you're here, where do you want to go with this?
Mm.
So you can then kind of craft what you plan to do and talk to them about, hey, now that you've completed this, we're going to go ahead and do this next thing. So if it was a digital product, like you created this, well now you're going to not just want to stop with one digital product. Now we have themes. So you wanted to make a digital product that was a fitness tracker. Well, now you want to create a digital product that's like a calendar for keeping up to date, like a journal entry, like a journal entry thing. So you can do that. You can do all sorts of different things just by talking to your people and finding out what they want.
So this makes a lot of sense for how to actually get a community like this off the ground within that 14-day free trial. But like, what if somebody doesn't have an audience and they don't know like how to get these members?
If somebody doesn't have an audience, then what they can do is one, they know friends and family. Like if they've talked about what they love with people that they know, they will already have like their own little little physical community. They already have maybe a Facebook group that they're in. Maybe they're in a place where they already show up to this gym and they've met people along the way. So it's like obviously you're gonna have to put yourself out there. If you're completely alone, like in your own room and you never go out and see people, you probably at least have online people that you can talk to. So find a way that whether it's a Facebook group, you can post in there, hey, I'm gonna do this like little 14-day or the 7-day trial. Um, not trial, 7-day challenge. And I would love to have some people come with me. You can tell them like, "Hey, I'm just so you know, there is a little cost. It's just to help with the hosting of the platform itself. I'm not making any profit off of this one." And then go through it. So you're just honest with them. We're going through this. This is something I'm really good at. And invite people. That's going to be one thing. If people can't get comfortable with making an offer, and what I mean by that is like offering help, then this is something that they need to learn how to get comfortable with sales.
Right. So what happens if they're building this thing and they can't get it done in time and they see like the 14-day trial is like coming up and they're not quite ready to launch yet? Like what do they do then?
Okay, so this is something that like isn't normally talked about, but you can start as many 14-day trials as you want. So let's say somebody were to start a 14-day trial for a community. They go in there and they're still learning, like it's their first community that they've ever started. So they need to go through there and they try to figure out, all right, so this goes here and now it's all this time has been taken up. They can go ahead and before they cancel that community, they can start a new community and take a course key of what they've already created in that other community and transfer it to the new community. So they could have like, let's say they have a tab open here and a tab open over here. Here's the old community, here's the new community. What they would do is like, let's say I'm like, oh, I need to take this over. So I would go ahead and just hit share course key, copy this. Then I would go to the new one and I'd click on creating a course and I'd put import and just paste it. And so that's going to import that whole classroom. Even if it's not in the same community, it'll do it to a new community.
Right.
So then they can cancel the old classroom or the old community and just start with the new community and all of their progress was saved.
Right. So they're not building for no reason.
Right. They have time. Now, the other thing that I'm going to mention is I put on here like ask 3 questions. When you're building a Skool community, there's a plugin called membership questions. The first one you want to do is email. Like you need to be building an email list because if you don't have an email list, then you don't have a business. Just period. Now, there's 2 other questions, and I recommend using text box because if you use text box, then they can talk. You allow them to ramble on if they want to, or they can give you a short, concise answer. But more rambling is more data for you. So I would always ask, what are you excited to learn here? And then like, what do you want to overcome or accomplish? Because like, if it's, you're not like overcoming something by creating a digital product, but what do you want to accomplish? Is like, yeah, I want to be able to make digital products so I can sell them. Well, guess what? Now you know that they want to sell the digital products. So you could create a classroom. You could create another, like, we're going to have calls that help you learn how to sell that digital product now that you just created one in this workshop.
Mm.
So that's what
So
I would do is make sure you ask those questions.
so there's a lot of different ways of making money online. Why would you suggest somebody tries something like this, like using Skool's 14-day free trial and making a community?
Because there's people are getting like so burnt out on how many courses are out there and how many coaches are out there and feeling like they're just a member of an email list, that they're just a member of like a following and oh, you created this following just so that you can sell me. on something and it's cold. It doesn't include them. They're not a part of it. That's what's different with a community. So I would recommend having a community because people are wanting that more authentic vibe. They want that connection. So if they start a community on this, then and you invite them in and you do the things like make sure that that person's welcome, that they're involved. You hear them out when they give feedback in the Q&A and you tailor different things that you do inside your community based on the questions that they answered. They're now plugged in. And once you have somebody in and they feel like they've been seen, they feel like they've been heard, they feel like they're remembered, they feel like they're a part of it. You've helped them create a friend, which we have another video on the channel about how friendship is like the number one thing that you need to focus on when you have a community. So during this challenge, make sure that you're connecting people to become friends so that they're showing up. You can't fail when you have a community if you've already plugged people in because it's a living thing. It's not a cold process.
If somebody's listening to this and they're not ready to actually start this process with this 14-day free trial thing, what would you suggest that they do in order to do what Sam said, basically, and just learn in another community?
Well, if somebody's not ready quite yet, I would recommend just coming and joining my free community because in here you're going to learn how to build a community and you're going to get to plug in with some like great members where they could see how their communities are running too. Even if they are ready, I'd still recommend getting plugged in because what you want to do is you want to start to see how people interact and hear more good information because you're going to always be learning. So I would recommend to join this community, or if you don't want to join my community, you can just always hit the discover in there and then find something that fits with you.